Welcome to Organizing Life's Daily Demands. My name is Peter Gordon. I'm the president of New York Financial Organizers. We're daily money managers. We help people with paying their bills, filing insurance claims, doing budgets. We do all the non investment side of personal finance. And the purpose of this podcast and video is to introduce the audience to other professionals who help in organize people's lives in different ways. And today I am so honored to have Stacy Francis as my guest. Um, she's a financial advisor. She does the investment side of personal finance, and she's really a special human being. And I'll stop
Aw.
it. No more platitudes. But welcome, Stacy. It's great to see you.
Peter, I am so excited. This is the highlight of my day. And so I know we've got 20 minutes. We're going to try and pack in so much. But again, thank you. As you can tell, just even from my voice, I am passionate about this work. So I think we're
Yeah.
going to have a great time.
So let's start by talking about your background and how you got to where you are and what you do.
Yeah, first off, I will tell you, I never thought I was going to become a financial advisor. I was the girl who sat in the very back of math class, hoped that no one would call on me, and never thought I was good with numbers. And quite frankly, intimidated by numbers and especially money and investments. But I had something happen to me as I grew up that completely did a 180 for me in my life. My dearest person to me, other than my mom and dad, was my grandmother, and we were so close. And I saw how poorly my grandfather treated her. He would yell at her, he would demean her in front of us, and then eventually I started to notice bruises. And I had a real open conversation with her when I was in my early, years at college about what was going on and why she stayed. And she shared something that is heartbreaking but true. She was financially trapped as well, and she had no insight into the money, no access, no agency. And she actually ended up dying at the hands of my grandfather, and I lost her so young. She didn't get to meet my kids. She was just such a special, kind person, and that is what drove me into this field. It was why I do this work, and I felt like I had no other choice, or else I could be in a situation like her, finding myself unable um, to have the opportunities that life can give us, or even find ourselves in a physically dangerous situation. And so I started a beautiful charity in her name called Savvy Ladies, and Peter is a supporter. So thank you. We're the largest financial literacy nonprofit organization in the U.S. And then I started my own firm, Francis Financial, actually to pay for the charity the year after when I was 27. So I've been doing this for, I guess over a quarter century. But my passion and my love for this work and why it's so important in no way has diminished.
So Savvy Ladies preceded
Yeah.
Francis Financial.
It did, and, something I learned very early on is that people don't feel comfortable writing really big checks to a 26-year-old for a nonprofit that has no background in existence for a month or 2. And yeah, so I knew I was going to have to fund it myself. And I don't come from money. And so I figured out, okay, I'm just going to have 2 jobs and I'm going to have to make it. And so for about 10 years, I did not get paid. Every dollar I made through Francis Financial went into the charity and the work that we do. And obviously, it was very hard for us financially in our family. And my family made a lot of sacrifices, but we have always been dedicated to this mission because it's makes up the fabric of who we are in our family and the difference that we want to make.
Um, this podcast I want to focus on is on Francis Financial, but tell us about Savvy Ladies.
Oh, thank you for asking. I'm so proud of what we've done. We started with women coming to my Upper East Side apartment and teaching about classes just in New York. Now that we are nationwide, we have 250 financial literacy courses that are FINRA approved. We also have live events online, and we have the largest financial helpline. Women can go to our website, savvyladies.org. And I always say it has two V's because we're very, very savvy. So savvyladies.org, you can go to the helpline, and whatever question you have, we have an expert for you, and you get to work one-on-one with that certified financial planner. And if you can believe it, Peter, we now have over 300 financial experts across the country in every single state, including Alaska and Hawaii. So wherever you are, you can work online with this person, and it really is life changing. So I'm really proud of where we are and what we've been able to grow together.
Right. And I know from my experience that many women are just are illiterate financially of
Yes,
all different economic levels. And
exactly.
so it's a phenomenal service. It's phenomenal service. And tell us a little bit about Francis Financial and I guess what you specialize in.
Yeah. So very special. There's 24 of us, which like craziness to see how much we've grown, which is what's very unique is 20 of our advisors are women like me. You don't see that in our field, but every single one of us has a personal story that draws us to this work because our work through Francis Financial and our superpower is working with women who are finding themselves really in the driver's seat of their finances on their own. And um, often their partner has passed away, they've gone through a divorce, and they really need that support and are a really traumatic time. And our work is to give them a hug, a financial hug, making sure that they are protected from not only now, but for the rest of their life. And they have the financial information they need and a portfolio and a financial plan that's going to ensure that they're financially secure for the rest of their life. That's our hope is to, with the grief and the change, at least take the financial stress off their shoulders.
Right. It's wonderful. So if um, a woman loses a loved one, could you say the three most important things that you would do, what they should do?
Well, the first thing is really understanding where they are financially today. And actually, quite frankly, a lot of us don't really know. And there's a few pieces to that. The first piece is what assets you have and what liabilities. And so taking stock of brokerage accounts, IRAs, if there's any mortgages, real estate, and getting that down on a piece of paper. The next piece is understanding the cash flow. And that's another piece that a lot of us kind of don't want to look at. I'm one of them. But
Really?
I actually went through and I went through my budget and tracked and went through every dollar that I had spent for a year and categorized it. You don't necessarily have to be that specific, but getting a good handle on your budget and what it's going to look like going forward without your partner is really important. There are a lot of expenses that are not going to go down. Your mortgage is going to be the same, your Netflix, your utilities. What's really shocking, your auto insurance is actually going to probably go up. Um, and there will be some expenses that come down, but by and large, a lot of the widows we work with are quite surprised that their spending and that cash flow amount doesn't go down by nearly as much as maybe they thought. And so that's the second piece. And then the third is really understanding what the income is. On average, widows, their income goes down by 22%. And that can be a huge knock to their ability to live their life because many times their expenses don't go down by that much. And so getting a handle of the income as well. I know that's a lot. Understanding the assets and liabilities, understanding your spending, and understanding what that income is. You definitely don't have to do it alone, right? Peter, you have amazing expertise in helping people understanding their spending, far beyond really anyone else I've ever worked with. And we have an expertise in really understanding assets, liabilities, and how we can get that investment portfolio working for them. So, what I would say, um, as a widow, you're taking care of so many people who are going through their own emotions of that loss. Make sure you're taking care of you and that you have people who can do some of the heavy lifting that you really trust.
Now, I know you work with a lot of women going through divorce.
Hmm.
Do the same things apply to them?
Very much. And there are so many similarities. Your typical relationship, and it doesn't matter whether you're Gen X, Gen Z, millennials, baby boomers, the greatest generation, we see across all of the generations kind of a divide of and conquer uh, in every marriage where she's taking certain responsibilities and her partner are taking others. And this isn't always the case, but primarily, we see that um, her partner is the one that is really driving the finances in the driver's seat of the finances. And so she's not necessarily as engaged. We see that also with divorces, and it's a very traumatic time. A lot of the emotions of losing someone to a death also are there with a divorce, even if she was the one to initiate. There's grief about the life that you thought that you were going to have. There's concern, understandable, of safety and security around finances, and 100% overwhelm. People say, marriage is about love. Well, divorce is about money. And for a lot of women, it's a really steep learning curve, and they need someone like us. We're also certified divorce financial analysts, to make sure that they're making the right decisions, because those decisions you make during a divorce, they can support you or they can haunt you for the rest of your life. It's a really important time to have information that you need.
Right. Well, speaking of information that you need, in both cases, what are the specific documents that need to be collected?
Yeah. And this is true even in the most amicable divorces. It's really important. To get copies of checking accounts, savings accounts, brokerage accounts, getting copies of IRAs, 401ks that you might have at work. If you have any employee benefits, such as restricted stock units or stock options, if there's a pension as well, asking HR for a estimate of what that pension payout is going to be. And then real estate. And most people are more clear about real estate, of what the values are, what the debt is on them, because those are all really important things are going to help you make good decisions about in a divorce what assets are going to serve you and what assets are going to best support you and what assets you can afford to keep, such as the house. But it's also really important for a widow because she is, making many times a lot of decisions about downsizing, staying in her home, and having the numbers, having the clarity helps dramatically be able to do just that.
I couldn't agree more. Information is power, and I know in our case that's what we strive to do is to provide them with the numbers to educate them on people, whether it be a female or male, to make the right decisions.
Yeah.
And I
Yeah.
know your firm definitely does that. So, in the case where um, a spouse passes away, who needs to be informed?
So there are a lot of places that need to be informed. Number one, reaching out to your estate planning attorney, making sure that you have access to the will, reaching out to your financial advisor. Your financial advisor has all the beneficiaries on your accounts. So that's really important. If there's life insurance, reaching out to that financial institution. For a lot of people, there are very large expenses in the first couple weeks after someone passes away. And if they were working, their income stops. And so life insurance is really important if you do have access to that, either a private policy or if there's a policy through your spouse's workplace, which most people do have that. Most people do have a group life insurance policy that's equal to at least one, if not two times their salary. And that money is paid out usually within 5 days. And it can be an absolute lifeline during such a difficult time. And then also reaching out to Social Security. And Social Security you can have a lot of benefits that you may not know about. If you have dependent children, which is age 18 and below. And the person who passed away is either their father or has adopted them. They can get a Social Security benefit from whatever age they are up to age 18. And if you have kids that are under age 16, you as a mom can also get an additional benefit. And we are talking about thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars,
Real
um,
money.
real money that can make a huge difference in someone's life. And if you don't have dependent children, but you're age 60, you can take a widow's benefit. And that widow's benefit is very special because it's one of the only loopholes that has not been closed yet. You can take your widow's benefit and then you can change to your own personal benefit on your work history at age 70 and use those 10 years to let your benefit go up. And it typically goes up by 8% a year. And so you can really, I hate to use word arbitrage, but like we all paid into Social Security, right?
Yeah,
Um,
absolutely.
and
Absolutely.
the difference in the planning, and we do a lot of very strategic planning around Social Security for our clients, it can be hundreds of thousands of dollars of difference in that claim strategy. So Social Security is a really important piece of it too. Um, what I will say to be a little careful of notifying, let's say, your bank at Chase and you have a joint account. Once you let them know that your spouse has passed, that account gets frozen. And so ideally, you have money in your own name that you can use to pay bills
Or
because
joint account.
yeah, because a lot of times you'll find yourself in a place where you no longer can access that money. They freeze those accounts.
And that might um, that can happen with Social Security telling the bank on its own, so you don't even know that's going
Exactly.
on. Which again
Exactly.
points to the importance of having a financial advisor to guide you through this. I mean, tell me the
Yeah.
advantages of having a financial advisor.
Well, you're obviously talking to someone who believes in having an advisor. But what I would say, it's really important to make sure that you are working with someone who's a fiduciary. That means that they have to put your interests ahead of their own, that they're fee only, so they're not going to sell you life insurance and get a commission, or sell you a certain investment and make a commission. That's really important. And you really want someone who understands what you're going through and um, can understand whether it's going through a divorce or dealing with widowhood, who's going to be there not just for the financial answers, but so much of this is also the emotional piece of, doing the right things to make sure that you're on the right financial track. And you want to make sure that when you're working with someone, it's not just about investments because you need a lot more than that. And so, for our clients, they're typically coming from us, and there's nothing against these companies. They're great, but the Merrill Lynch's, the Morgan Stanley's, the Bank of America's, the UBS's, they're fantastic and they manage money very well, or else they wouldn't be in business. But they don't have the business model to be able to help you with all those other pieces. And that's the looking at your insurances, looking at your estate planning again, helping you file your taxes for the first time with your CPA, working and creating that beautiful budget and projecting out that financial crystal ball to age 95. Um, when we are working with someone, we help everything with a dollar, including, going to the dealership to help you buy a car because most women have never bought a car on their own.
Oh, and
Um,
that's
and
a
and it's intimidating. I mean,
oh
it's
my
really intimidating.
God, do that right now.
Yeah. Yeah. I just bought a beautiful car. Um, she is my dream car. But I went in and I specifically went to someone who I know and trust, have referred clients to for the last 15 years. And it was such a wonderful experience. But that's not the normal experience people have.
Right, and but that's an example of the holistic care that you offer as a financial advisor. It's very rare, and I know that your partners and my belief is that it all flows from the top. And
Uh,
Stacey, you are one of the most giving, wonderful people I've ever met. Um,
Thank you.
I am a connector. I love putting people together. And I look up to you in the world of connectedness because of the way you honestly care about helping others. It has nothing to do with business. And,
Right.
yeah, I think it's karma, and it comes back to us. But you really are a remarkable person within a really remarkable um, uh, company. And I suggest to everybody to talk to Stacy, female or male. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, we work
And
with a lot of amazing men too. We really do. Yeah. And couples.
yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. No, thank you for sharing that. Savvy Ladies is a love letter to my grandmother, who I know is looking down and smiling at us. And Francis Financial is my love letter to everyone else that is going through a scary transition. And it just fills my heart to be able to ensure that someone's going to be okay financially. It's just the most wonderful, impactful gift. It
yeah,
really is. And we all deserve that. We really do. Peter, I think the world of you. And you and Jacob are just such special people, and you go above and beyond for your clients too. There's so many similarities in the way that we run our businesses, the values behind our businesses, the way that we come to this work with, passion and true caring. Because it's, for both of us, yes, it's about money, but really it's a caring, helping profession. That's really what it is.
yeah. I say this to people all the time. We just did a presentation to nurses at Bellevue, and I tell them, call us anytime with any question about anything, because while I'm the expert in what I do, I could refer you to the other experts, and all of us care. We really want to give first and get second. And I feel so fortunate to have found my business and my calling in life, and to have met people like yourself.
Well, vice versa, vice versa.
Great. So, on that very sweet note,
Lovely note. I know.
yeah.
Thank you so much for having
Yeah.
me on, and,
So, what's the
yeah.
best way to get in touch with you? Your information will be on the podcast, and it will be also within the video. But tell us the best
Yeah,
way.
no, no, no. So if you're looking for a financial advisor or just even like a second opinion on your investment portfolio, we do quite a few of those every week because it really helps people better understand their portfolios. Just reach out to me and you can go to the website www.francisfinancial.com. My last name is Francis, Stacy Francis. I wasn't super creative when I named the firm, but you can also reach out to me via email, and it's my first name, Stacy, Stacy at francisfinancial.com. If you are, again, looking in for a second opinion or just, want to chat about what we do and if we can help. And Savvy Ladies checks everybody needs to check Savvy Ladies out, because Savvy Ladies is
Absolutely.
really about financial education, financial empowerment, and we work with women from age 18 to 89 plus, and it's all free of charge. And we also, what's really important, Peter, to know is that Savvy Ladies does not income test. So you can have a dollar in your pocket or you may not have a dollar in your pocket. We do not discriminate. We are just there to help you get more empowered about your money, more agency over your money, and more understanding.
And if the people out there are interested in supporting a phenomenal organization that helps anybody, helps many people, regardless, as Stacy says, of income or needs, but really will be put on a road to success, I highly
Yeah.
recommend them
Yes,
to check
we need
out.
donations. We need donations. It allows us to increase the number of women that we serve even more so. And so, yes, and we're again 501(c)(3. It's tax deductible. You can use it for your donor advised fund as well. Yeah, no, we would really appreciate that. And you can go to the again website www.savvyladies.org
Or,
and yeah, sorry, savvyladies.org, and you can see our website there.
well, that's a great conversation, Stacy. Thanks for being a wonderful colleague and a wonderful friend.
Oh, thank you. I'm sending you a big hug. Thank you, Peter.
Thanks, and everybody. We'll see you at the next video/podcast.